प्रभु, चेतन भगत दुनिया के सबसे महान लेखक है। मैं ये मानने को तैयार हूँ, लेकिन प्लीज ये अनर्थ मुझ पे मत छोड़िए। मैं चेतन भगत के बारे में कभी बुरा नहीं कहूँगी। Namaskar dosto. So as you've guessed already, we are going to talk about the most talked about Indian show on Netflix called Mismatched. So many years ago, Mismatched kind of aired, featuring my Indian celebrity crush Rohit Saraf and Prajakta Kohli. I wasn't a big fan of Prajakta Kohli's content. I mostly find it cringe, but I was happy that she was getting some mainstream attention, even though it was kind of undeserved. However, the first season of Mismatched was a decent one-time watch. Like, you had all these characters that you particularly didn't care about, and the chemistry between Rohit Saraf and Prajakta Kohli worked in some places, and Dimple and Rishi's love story was fine to follow. I was also very surprised by Ranvijay's portrayal of the teacher in this series, other than being an angry young man in roadies. And I also love the fact that man gets a love story. It's high time he deserved some kind of happiness and a huge difference in his life. Then Mismatch season 2 aired, and oh my god, the quality plummeted. I expected Mismatch to go into a downfall, but this severe, it makes Stranger Things season 5 look like a masterpiece. Y'all wanna know why I didn't make a video on Stranger Things season 5? It's because of Mismatched. I've seen worse things coming. So Mismatched revolves around Dimple, who is this very smart hacker girl, and she is just like, okay, I need to make my career as a hacker, which her parents obviously don't understand, and they are setting her up for marriage. And enter Rishi, who is from a rich family, and he gets inspired by his grandma's love story from the 90s or the old era. And his grandma is just like, see, find the one true love, don't be a playboy like your dad or whatever. And he is just like, okay, since Dimple has no filter on her photos, I think she might be the one for me. And then you get that infamous cold coffee scene, and I will never be able to look at cold coffee the same way again, because I really want to spill cold coffee on the makers' faces. So Dimple and Rishi kind of get together in the first season, but then you have this forced integration of Namrata, Rishi's best friend, who comes out to be a lesbian in the most laziest way possible. That makes Will's coming out scene look a bit more deep. So Namrata is just like, hey Rishi, you told Dimple, how can you do this to me? I was not ready to come out of the closet anymore. And guys, we have Muskan Jaffries here as Selena, who just wants to be rich because she is working as a delivery girl and is pretty poor, and that's the crux of her entire story. There is this one scene where Prajakta Kohli's character, Dimple, tells Rishi that her favorite singer is Avijit Singh. What? And Rishi just corrects it, saying that, hey, we are not strict on copyright laws. You can take Arijit Singh's name. So he just corrects her, saying that it's Arijit Singh. By that logic, how can you get Arijit Singh's name wrong? It's not like Arijit Singh is a Thai singer or a Korean singer or a Japanese singer who has a very difficult name to pronounce. Arijit Singh is very much an Indian singer, so it should be easy for you to take his name without any problem. Like, what the hell, woman? How can you get your favorite Indian singer's name wrong? This is like totally unacceptable, okay? And then the makers of this show need to be arrested for this, because they do not use an Arijit Singh soundtrack in the show. Okay, the only memorable soundtrack in the show is Nikita Gandhi's Tatbili Se, I think, okay? And whoever wrote this line must be given jail time. Like, Arijit bhai, I understand why you sing breakup songs right now, and your pause from the industry is well deserved. Like, one of the most famous playback singers in our country, and you managed to get his name wrong. What the hell is wrong with you people? And then we have Zenith, who is just there. I really don't get the point of Zenith's character. And also, we have Kritika and Krish and Anmol, who are your generic assholes present in the show just for fun. No complaints there because Kritika kind of disappears since she was too busy being the casting director for the show. And then I just want to punch Krish across the face because he has such a lazy character arc. And we also have the NRI guy whose name I forgot to remember. I think it was Harsh or something, who is Dimple's temporary fling. Although I don't know why he falls head over heels for Dimple in the first place because their chemistry is almost zero. So, anyway, I would like to ask Muskan Jaffries a genuine question like, girl, are you okay? Do you need help? Like, you've played a mentally unstable person in the Fame game and a mentally unstable person in Call Me Babe. And now you're Selena here dealing with your sexuality. Like, please get some help. I'm really worried about your mental health. Okay. And then we have Rohit Saraf playing Rishi, who can do anything for Dimple, okay? So, obviously, he is the classic green flag guy, and I have no problem with Rohit Saraf playing that, although I feel like he might overact in some sequences, but it's fine as long as he doesn't do it the Varun Dhawan way. Mismatch season 1 ends on a cliffhanger because obviously it ends with Dimple kissing Harsh, and it spreads throughout the college in season 2, and season 2 is lackluster compared to season 1 because they tried to redo the coffee scene, but this time it is Rishi spilling the cold coffee over Dimple, and then Dimple is just like, oh no, I kind of miss Rishi and everything. And then Harsh decides to let her go in the most laziest fashion possible. So lazy that I don't even remember it. I kind of don't remember the entirety of Mismatched season 2, except for the fact that Selena kind of deals with her sexuality or whatever, and she's actually confused if she's straight or not. And I am just like, woman, whatever happened to you being rich? I thought that was the arc of your whole character, okay? And then we have Namrata deciding to run away with a teacher. Yeah, this is totally not grooming, okay? And then we have Ranvijay thinking that, hey, maybe I can finally fall in love with someone my age. Hooray! And season 2 is a colossal mess that kind of ends with Dimple and Selena's friendship breaking over the stolen anti-source app, okay, and Krish being like, oh no, I really am an asshole because I cheated on someone like Kritika, and then Kritika just leaves the show. Good for her. She has to do better things. And not to mention how cringe Dimple and Rishi's romantic moments are, especially that parachute scene or every kiss scene shared between them. And as if this wasn't enough, the show had to show in another cliche where Dimple and Rishi are actually long lost childhood friends, and Rishi found his love for graphic designing and cartoons because of Dimple. Really? Do you really think we needed that, writers of Mismatched? Because this is the reason why I fell out of love with Mismatched. Okay, my love for Mismatched went from 0% to minus 1000% because of how cringe Dimple and Rishi are as a couple. I don't consider them to be Valentine ideas. Hell, I think on Valentine's Day we should spread the Dimple and Rishi hazard. And then Anmol is just like, listen, do you really think that I'm not talented enough to develop my own game and you had to steal Dimple's game to make me win this competition or whatever? And besides, I really don't believe that these kids are here to learn because their definition of technology is to put a website in HTTPS. What? So, season 2 ends on a cliffhanger with everything bad happening to Dimple because our writers clearly hate Dimple. So, this bad boss bitch CEO comes to Dimple's college and scouts out these guys to work as interns in her company or whatever, okay? And she picks the most undeserved assholes like Krish, Anmol, Muskan Jaffries and Rishi, and she is just like, yeah, that's it. I was supposed to choose 5 people, but I chose 4 people. And then you have season 3 coming up. Now, season 3 of Mismatched is where it digs itself into a grave. Okay, like even Shaitan would just be like, what the hell did you send me? Why is this here? This should be cast away, burnt to ashes, because season 3 of Mismatched is that terrible. Okay, everybody undergoes a character assassination, minus maybe Anmol, because Asas Channa is an angel. She is the only good part about this show. And the show tries to tackle so many issues, but it does it in such a lazy way that it infuriates me a lot. Like, bro, focus on actual issues. What are you even doing here? So, season 3 of Mismatch starts with our Ranvijay from Roadies here planning to open a university. Yeah, do you officially believe that we've lost all common sense as human beings when this happens, because you know what kind of contestants appear on roadies? So he is just like, let's give it up for the gifted students here, and I want Dimple to join. And obviously Dimple, like any normal person, is just too sad about all of this and is just like, listen, I didn't get selected, so I'm just going to do little jobs here and there, like a freelancer kind of thing. And her parents are hoping for her to get settled with Rishi, okay? And then you see Dimple sharing a lot of screen time with her dad. I forgot that Dimple's dad kind of existed in the previous seasons. Okay. So I could predict Dimple's dad's death coming. And by the way, guys, I'm so sorry. This video contains spoilers of the show. I know it is a bit late to tell you that, but it's not like all of you actually care. This show is the reason why I can handle trash anime. And binging this show is the second biggest mistake I've made in my life. The first, obviously, being reading a Chetan Bhagat book. So, Mismatched season 3 starts off with Dimple telling everybody on her video call by accident that she and Rishi are kind of getting really intimate and everything, and obviously she gets fired from that company. So, Dimple is officially in the depths of depression. She is rejecting Ranvijay's calls. And finally, she is just like, fine, man, can you stop torturing me so much? I am not your roadies contestant. So, she comes to Ranvijay's college, which apparently happens to be located next to Rishi's workplace. Yay! And in a fashion that nobody cares, Rishi, Anmol, and Krish are also friends. Yay! Because the show hates to give anybody any character development. So Selena apologizes to Dimple, and then the show adds more cast members who we don't fucking care about. What the fuck is Aleph? What the fuck is this lady doing here? Okay, and then they integrate this drama subplot here, and we're just like, why? And then we see Rishi spending too much time with this other new character, and then this Aleph is supposed to be the beacon of body positivity, but oh my god, the way he just talks gets on my nerves. And I know people talk like this, but it doesn't sound realistic. It sounds so made up. Okay, and what the hell is up with Muskan's English right here? She mixes Hindi and English, and it's not even English, guys. English is fine, okay? We all speak in English sometimes, but Muskan does it to a whole other level. So basically, she sounds like this towards the entire show. She is just like, so I didn't dhakelud you, and you didn't follow me here, and we have to ghusafy this, okay? And it is so irritating to listen to. My ears nearly started bleeding halfway. Again, Muskan Jaffries, please get help, okay? This is affecting your Broca's area and your speech is getting impaired. So anyway, season 3 also introduces the worst character by far, okay, who goes by the name of Rit. And I don't have a problem with what Rit is as a person, but I have a problem with Rit's storyline, which was very lazily done, and how convenient it is. Because when you look at movies like Haddi or Sushmita Sen's biopic, then you know that it's not a joke. Here, Rith just goes through it very easily because she is just like, no, I've always felt like a guy before, so yeah, I want to do the gender change surgery and whatnot, okay? And then you have Krish being the asshole here who kind of ends up with Muskan Jaffrey's like, why? Okay, these two didn't even have chemistry in the previous seasons. So what even is going on, okay? And it's played as a joke, but it's really, really not funny, and we're supposed to root for these two to be together. What the hell? Okay, and then Muskan Jaffries is just like falling for Rit right now, okay, and then Krish is just like, oh, by the way, I didn't mention this in my previous seasons, or probably the audience forgot, but my parents own a hospital and they are doctors and whatnot. And so he offers to do the gender change surgery for Rith, and Rith is just like, okay, but then Krish finds out that he's a girl, and then he knows that Selena and Rith are in a relationship because what Muskan and Krish have is this friends with benefits kind of thing, until Krish realizes that he is actually falling for Muskan Jaffries. So I really don't get what they were going for here, except to show that Krish is kind of like the same guy from season 1. Okay, and then Rith, to take revenge, is just like, fine, I will insert a virus into the computer and whatnot, and then just leaves the town. Okay, and then by the time Selena finds out, it was just too late, so she calls Dimple, and Dimple is just like, yeah, I know I'm supposed to be this genius hacker and everything, but that doesn't mean I have the solution to everything. So she just calls Rith, and then they finish the virus off with a video call, and then this lady comes, and this bad bitch boss CEO is just like, oh, Dimple, not hiring you was such a big mistake and whatnot, and we're supposed to be happy for that. By the way, guys, Dimple has no personality. I think that Prajakta Kohli is just playing herself when it comes to being Dimple, because in season 3, Dimple's dad passes away, sure, but the way Dimple grieves over it feels so unnatural, proving that Prajakta Kohli cannot act for the life of her, okay? And then she is just too grief stricken by all of this, and she is just like, okay, I need a break and whatnot. And then Ranvijay is just like, bro, I know you've gone through a tragedy and all, so I'm going to talk to you like how I talk to my roadies contestants. Snap the fuck out of it. And Prajakta Kohli is just like, oh yeah, sure, okay. And then she creates an app that makes you feel like you're actually kind of hearing your parents' voice through a recording. So, fine. You know how the show brings up message like mental health and everything. And then we have Ehsas Chana here, who is supposed to be Anmol's girlfriend, Pine. She plays the role pretty well, I guess. And they have enough chemistry to make it work. I think they are better than Dimple and Rishi. And how they call out pseudo wokeness is good, but it is also hypocritical because this show is trying to be pseudo woke, okay? And it is shown by how they poorly handle Ritz's storyline or Alif's storyline or even the play scenario or even Namrata's lesbian storyline. Like, nobody is normal in this show, okay? And then Dimple's mom is just like, listen, why don't you and Rishi get engaged? Really, lady? Shouldn't you ask your daughter for this? And Dimple is just like, bro, this is such a big step. I am not ready. I don't have a job. I have my dreams too and whatnot, is what the show might be trying to say. But Dimple just doesn't say anything about this. So she agrees to marry Rishi, okay, just for the sake of her mother, okay? And I'm like, ladies, shouldn't you be wishing for something else? Like, Dimple should be with you, not with Rishi at this time, because you've just lost your husband, right? So Dimple and Rishi get engaged, and this takes a whole ass episode, which is such a waste of screen time because these two should not be together, okay? They are like totally not good for each other, just like Radhe and Tamanna in Bandish Bandits, okay? At least Bandish Bandits had good writing and explained to us why Radhe and Tamanna do not belong together, because there is a lot of insecurity involved. So the same thing goes with the Dimple and Rishi, okay? Which Dimple's mom just fails to understand. Like, auntie, I think you should also just die already, okay? And then finally Dimple is just like, Rishi, listen, I don't think I can do this. But she doesn't say, I don't think I can do this. She says it in such a generic way, like, this is your day. And Rishi is just like, no, no, this is our day. We are engaged. And then Dimple is just like, okay, yeah, I'm so sorry. I just made a mistake. And Rishi is just like, no, no, this is not a mistake. You can't just make a huge mistake like that. And she is just like, fine, man, you started it. I didn't care about the engagement in the first place. So please, let's break it off. Okay, let's get engaged later and whatnot. And the show ends on this note, and we have to do it for another season. Guys, I am not going to lie, okay? I clocked out for most of the scenes in Mismatched, okay? But the way the show keeps coming back feels really, really unnatural to me. Like, Netflix, why are you greenlighting this trash piece of show that is just there to mess with our minds? Because every character here is so unrealistic, especially Zenith, okay? Like, I don't get what Zenith's problem is. Sometimes she wants to have kids, sometimes she just behaves very timid, and I feel like the Urdu is just too forced. I think the actress is pretty good, but she just wants kids. But Ranvijay is just like, bro, have you seen me? You think I look like a father material? And she's just like, please, please, let's just adopt a kid. And Ranvijay is just like, fine, man, whatever you want, okay? And I'm supposed to find this relatable as an adult, but no, guys, it's not, okay? Because adopting someone is not a joke. It's not like you can adopt a pet or whatnot. You need to adopt a kid, meaning you need to take responsibility for it. Even if I say that I want to adopt certain anime characters, I know that I have some kind of responsibility to raise them, okay? These idiots do not have that, because have you seen how unstable these adults are, okay? So I just think that I might be hate watching the final season of Mismatched, or I pray to God that this is the final season of Mismatched and there are no spin offs of this, okay? Because this show should not exist. It is an insult to representation or wokeness in general, okay? I give this show a 1.5 out of 5 stars only because of Rohit Saraf. And it is made worse when Rohit Saraf and Prajakta Kohli appear in Sunny Sanskar Ki Tulsi Kumari. Like, Mismatched is a show that needs no fan service. Okay, please stop giving Mismatched a fan service, okay? Please stop treating Dimple and Rishi like this green flag relationship of all time, okay? Because their actions kind of make no sense, okay? Like, Dimple telling Selena about Namrata's secret makes no sense, and then Rishi hating Dimple all this time longer than necessary, throwing cold coffee on her also makes no sense, okay? And they are so petty towards each other, and you also have insecurities in the relationship. It's not like these two idiots are making an effort to fight their insecurities. So why in God's name are we rooting for them? This show is bad on so many levels, okay? At least Anmol's redemption arc is kind of believable, but only in some instances. And I know that the cast is having a lot of fun with this show, and good for them, but I'm just asking the writers to give these people a better storyline, okay? They clearly deserve it. And on that, my rant on Mismatched ends. I don't have to lose my brain cells watching Mismatched, like how I lost my brain cells reading any Chetan Bhagat book, basically. So, on that note, I hope you enjoyed my rant. Let me know if you agree with my views on Mismatched or you don't agree with it, or if you think that this is just a silly camp show. Until then, dhanyabad. I'll see you in the next video.